Welcome to NOU Scholar Session. Academic excellence is our priority. History of open and distance learning. Good day, everyone. In this lecture, we will examine the origin, development, and relevance of open and distance learning, ODL. As student in this system, understanding how it evolved is essential because your success depends largely on how well you adapt to its structure and demands. Learning outcomes. By the end of this class, you should be able to define open and distance learning, identify the stages of distance education, distinguish between distance learning and open learning, and explain the role of technology in open and distance learning. Let us see the meaning of open and distance learning. Open and distance learning, ODL, combines distance education and open learning. When we talk of distance education, it means the teacher and learner are separated by location and sometimes time. On the other hand, open learning emphasizes flexibility, allowing learners to choose how, when, and where they study. A widely accepted definition by the Commonwealth of Learning describes open and distance learning as a system that uses multiple media, for instance, print, radio, TV, and internet. A system that encourages interaction between learners and instructors, and it may include occasional face-to-face sessions. At the National Open University of Nigeria, students receive course materials online, they submit assignments digitally, and attend occasional tutorials at study centers. This is an example of open and distance learning. What then is distance education and what is its purpose? Historically, limited university spaces prevented many qualified students from gaining admission. Distance education emerged as a solution to this problem by allowing learning to take place outside the classroom. Distance education is therefore designed to increase access to education, especially for people who cannot attend conventional schools. So we can describe distance education as learning without physical classroom presence. With this, the barrier or distance and time is overcome. So a civil servant in Abuja, for instance, can enroll in an online degree program without resigning from work. Let's look at the stages of distance education. Distance education developed through three major stages, each driven by technological advancements. These stages show how education evolved alongside technology. Each stage improved access and delivery. The first stage is the correspondence stage. This was the earliest form of distance education. Here, learning materials were sent through postal services, and students completed assignments and mailed them back to their tutors or their lecturers. This stage is exemplified in Isaac Pitman's introduction of shorthand lesson by Mill in the 1840s, which is widely recognized as the first structured distance education system. The second stage is sound and video stage, early 20th century. This stage introduced radio and television, that is audiovisual, as teaching tool. Radio broadcasting for education began around 1916, while television followed between 1930s and 1960s. So learning became more engaging through audiovisual delivery. In Nigeria, the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation introduced English by radio in 1960, helping learners improve language skills nationwide. The last, which is the third, is the computer technology stage. This stage is driven by digital technology, that is the use of computers, satellites, and internet. Development of online learning platform and visual classrooms were also enforced at this time. The rise of the internet and World Wide Web has enabled real-time communication between teachers and learners across continents. The concept and features of open learning. Open learning focuses on flexibility and accessibility. As stated earlier, learners can choose when to study, where to study, how fast to progress, and what learning resources to use. So a student may choose to study at night after work or replay recorded lecture multiple times for better understanding. So the key point here is that open learning removes rigid structures found in traditional education system. Open and distance learning as a system. Open and distance learning combines the accessibility of distance education with the flexibility of open learning. According to UNESCO, open and distance learning has grown rapidly due to advances in information and communication technology, that is ICT, especially the internet. Online universities now enroll students from multiple countries, creating a global classroom. Now, let's see the global development of open and distance learning. The modern open and distance learning movement gained momentum with the establishment of the open universities in 1969. So there is the expansion to Europe and North America, a rapid growth in Asia with over 40 open and distance learning institutions. There is increased in international collaboration through ICT. So education has become borderless. It has become accessible worldwide. The development of ODL in Nigeria. Nigeria's involvement in ODL, open and distance learning, is policy driven. The 1977 National Policy on Education emphasized increasing access to higher education through alternative modes such as correspondence and open university. The early phase in Nigeria. In 1947, there is extramural programs at University College Ibadan. Nigerians enrolled in correspondence program abroad and participation in external examinations such as the JCE. So many Nigerians study through UK-based correspondence colleges because local university spaces were limited. Then let's look at the university level development. In 1972, Ahmadu Bello University introduced the University of the Air. When you attempt your TMA, you see that this question is quite recurrent, the University of the Air. Then We have in 1974, University of Lagos established correspondence studies. So these initiatives marked the beginning of structured ODL in Nigeria. The establishment of National Open University of Nigeria. The idea of an open university in Nigeria was first proposed in 1976. Please kindly note this down. This is one of the recurrent questions in both TMAs and the final examination. It's established in 1983, suspended in 1984 due to political changes, then re-established in 2002 as the National Open University of Nigeria. Olusegun Obasanjo enrolled and completed advanced degrees at the National Open University, demonstrating its credibility. So, what is then the current status of open and distance learning in Nigeria? Let's look at that quickly. We see that over 20 universities now operate dual mode system in Nigeria. NOU remains the only fully dedicated ODL university in Nigeria. So ODL is now a major component of Nigerians' higher education system. Why is ODL necessary in Nigeria? Number one, limited admission capacity. Statistics shows that a large percentage, often over 60 to 80% of qualified applicants are not admitted into conventional universities annually. So ODL provides an alternative pathway for these students. Number two, increasing demand for higher education. Employers now require higher qualifications for promotion and job security. Teachers must upgrade from lower certificates to higher qualification to remain employed. So ODL allows individuals to work and study simultaneously. Number three, lifelong learning. Modern economics require continuous skill development due to rapid technological changes. Professionals take online courses to remain relevant in their fields. So ODL supports continuous education throughout life. From our discussion so far, we've seen that open and distance learning has evolved from simple mail-based instruction to a technology-driven global system. It is flexible, accessible, technology-based or technology-enabled, and in Nigeria, open and distance learning plays a critical role in one, expanding access to education, supporting working class learners, and promoting lifelong learning. Thanks for studying with us. Remember to share and like our videos.